Imagine a stormy sky, thunder rumbling in the distance, and with every flash of lightning, the silhouette of a dragon is revealed, vast wings unfurling, a serpentine neck twisting through the clouds, its scales glinting with an otherworldly sheen. This is no ordinary beast, but a creature of legend, ancient and powerful, soaring above a world that trembles beneath its shadow. Far below, thousands of armored soldiers gather, their armor gleaming despite the gloom, spears raised high in defiance. Banners snap and whip in the howling wind, each one a symbol of hope and unity. The air is thick with anticipation, every heartbeat echoing the distant thunder. These warriors are not just fighting for glory. They are the last line of defense between their families, their homes, and the fury that circles above. Every anxious glance skyward is a silent prayer, a hope that courage will be enough. What happens when fire meets steel? In this moment, the ultimate confrontation unfolds, chaos versus order, nature's untamed fury against the unbreakable resolve of humankind. Sparks fly as dragon fire crashes against shields, the battlefield illuminated by the clash of elements. The dragon embodies raw, untamable power, a force of nature that cannot be reasoned with. The army stands as a testament to humanity's courage, unity, and determination to survive against impossible odds. The tension is electric. A single, collective breath held before the world is forever changed. Every soldier knows that what happens next will echo through history. Will mortal courage and steel withstand the dragon's relentless flame, or will the kingdom be reduced to ash and memory? The fate of an entire realm hangs in the balance. This is more than a battle. It is a test of survival, of sacrifice, and of hope that refuses to die even in the darkest hour. Heroes are forged in the fire, and legends are born from the ashes. As the dragon's roar echoes across the misty valley and the storm rages on, the story truly begins. A timeless tale of standing firm, of facing the storm with unwavering resolve. It is the story of us all, daring to face the impossible, and discovering what it truly means to be brave in the face of overwhelming odds. Dragons have haunted our stories for millennia, their legends carried on every continent. In ancient China, dragons were wise, benevolent spirits, bringers of rain, symbols of luck and power. They were revered, not feared, guardians of harmony between heaven and earth. In Europe, dragons became monsters, greedy, destructive, hoarders of gold, and symbols of chaos. Heroes faced them to restore peace, making dragons the ultimate test of bravery. This duality, terrifying yet magnificent, makes dragons endlessly fascinating. They embody the unknown volcanoes, storms, the mysteries of nature. By giving these forces a face, our ancestors could tell stories of overcoming the impossible. Whether as wise counselors or savage beasts, dragons tap into a universal sense of wonder. Their ancient whisper still calls to us, reminding us the world is full of magic and mystery. Epic fantasy battles are forged from history and imagination. Tolkien's armies echo Roman legions, Helm's Deep recalls legendary sieges, George R.R. Martin's wars draw from real civil strife, making Westeros feel brutally real. By grounding fantasy in history, these stories become immersive and emotionally resonant. Fantasy lets us ask, what if the Battle of Agincourt had wizards? What if Joan of Arc rode griffins? Real tactics meet magical twists, shield walls face dragonfire, cavalry ride giant wolves. The familiar framework of history makes the magic feel plausible, the stakes higher. We recognize courage and fear, but fantasy magnifies them to mythic proportions. By weaving history with imagination, authors create battles that are unforgettable. These stories let us explore the extraordinary within the echoes of our own past. Every dragon battle begins with a whisper, a village at peace, then strange omens, vanished flocks, scorched earth, trembling ground. Elders recall old tales of the fire drake slumbering in the mountain. Panic grows as hunters disappear and the mountain glows with an angry red light. Black smoke blots out the stars. Fear grips the kingdom. The king's council confirms the worst. The ancient dragon has awakened. The call to arms spreads. Blacksmiths forge weapons through the night. Special ballistae and alchemical oils are prepared in desperate hope. The kingdom braces for a storm of fire and death. every soul confronting their fear. The dragon is not just a monster, it's a living catastrophe, a force of nature. United by dread, the people prepare to stand together against the coming inferno. Battle dawns under a smoke-filled sky, the first rays of sunlight struggling to pierce the thick haze. The land is scarred and silent, haunted by the promise of violence yet to come. As the dragon descends from the clouds, its massive shadow sweeps across the trembling army below, chilling every heart. Soldiers clutch their weapons, eyes wide with terror, as the ground itself seems to shudder beneath them. For a moment, an eerie silence falls, broken only by the thunderous beating of the dragon's wings. Then, with a deafening roar that echoes for miles, the world is shattered and fear takes hold. Fire pours from its jaws in a torrent, melting steel, turning stone to slag. Walls crumble, banners ignite, and chaos erupts as the inferno sweeps across the field. Soldiers scramble in every direction, formations shattering as the battlefield becomes a swirling maelstrom of fire, steel, and desperate cries. The air is thick with smoke and the scent of burning earth. Arrows rain down, bouncing harmlessly off the dragon's armored scales. Massive ballistae are hastily loaded and fired, their iron bolts whistling through the air, some striking true, drawing blood and fury. Wounded and enraged, the dragon lashes out. It smashes siege engines to splinters, incinerating their crews with blasts of searing flame, leaving only scorched earth in its wake. On the ground, the beast wades into the fray, claws tearing through armor, tail sweeping aside whole ranks. Soldiers fight desperately, their courage tested against impossible odds. Knights lower their lances and charge, aiming for the dragon's vulnerable eyes and underbelly. Spearmen dart in, risking everything to hamstring the beast, their bravery shining in the chaos. Yet, even in the face of terror, the army's courage holds. They rally together, swarming the dragon in a unified assault inspired by love for home and the hope of survival. It's a scene of both bravery and carnage, a symphony of chaos and hope, where every heartbeat is a drumbeat of defiance against the darkness. The dragon's fury is overwhelming, its flames consuming all in their path, but the will to fight burns just as fiercely in the hearts of those who stand their ground, refusing to yield. As smoke rises and the castle looms in the distance, the fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance. The outcome of this battle will echo through history, shaped by courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of those who refuse to surrender. In the heart of chaos, when all seems lost and the world is consumed by flames, the turning point comes, not from overwhelming force, but from a single defiant act of courage. Amidst the roar of battle and the choking smoke, one figure stands tall, refusing to yield to despair. A hero, battered but unbroken, seizes a fleeting chance. With every ounce of strength, they risk everything, life, legacy, and hope itself, to strike at the dragon's vulnerable underbelly, where its scales are thinnest and its heart beats closest to the surface. This single act of bravery sends a ripple through the ranks. The army, once paralyzed by terror, finds new resolve. Fear melts away, replaced by a fierce determination to stand together and fight for their home. Archers notch their arrows, aiming for the dragon's blazing eyes. Spearmen lock shields, forming an unbreakable wall. In that moment, teamwork becomes their greatest weapon, uniting them against a common foe. The dragon, wounded and furious, thrashes in pain. In its rage, it makes a fatal mistake, rearing back and exposing its glowing, vulnerable heart for a moment too long, blinded by its own fury. Seizing the opportunity, the hero drives a blessed spear deep into the beast's chest. The weapon pierces scales and sinew, striking true at the very core of the monster. The dragon's final thunderous roar shakes the earth itself. Its once muddy flames sputter and die, casting the battlefield into an eerie silence as the creature's strength fades. With a shudder that echoes for miles, the colossal dragon crashes to the ground. Dust billows, and for a heartbeat the world holds its breath in stunned silence. Soldiers, their faces streaked with soot and disbelief, stare at the fallen beast. Then, as realization dawns, they erupt in triumphant cheers, their voices rising above the ruins. They have faced the impossible and emerged victorious. Yet the victory is bittersweet, etched on the faces of those who survived, and in memory of those who did not. The battlefield is scarred, littered with the fallen, and the kingdom lies in smoldering ruins. The cost of survival is written in ash and sorrow, and nothing will ever be the same. Yet, as dawn breaks over the ravaged land, hope endures. Survivors stand tall, and the hero, silhouetted against the sunrise, reminds all that even in the darkest inferno, courage can light the way to a new beginning. Not all dragon tales are of war. Some imagine dragons as allies, not adversaries. In these stories, dragons are ancient, intelligent beings, forming bonds of partnership with humans. A hero protects a dragon egg, forging a magical connection that changes both their destinies. Together, they become an unstoppable team, human ingenuity and dragon wisdom united. Such alliances can turn the tide of war, broker peace, or guard against greater evils. In some legends, dragons test heroes' worthiness, becoming mentors and guardians of knowledge. These stories teach empathy, respect, and the power of cooperation over conquest. The greatest magic happens when we dare to connect with the unknown. Why do dragons still captivate us? They are the last vestiges of true magic and mystery in a world explained by science. Dragons remind us there's still room for awe and wonder. What if the impossible were real? Their battles are more than spectacle. They are morality, plays about courage, teamwork, and sacrifice. These stories echo in our modern entertainment, from blockbuster films to video games. Dragons symbolize adventure, power, and the epic struggles that define us. They elevate our hopes and fears to mythic scale, inspiring us to be braver and to believe in magic. The dragon's roar is an echo of our own longing for adventure and meaning. It calls us to look up, to wonder, and to dream.